Do you think transgender women should be able to participate
That's your question
in
you
college
want me to
basketball?
ask. I mean, you want to ask, so I'll give you that. Yes. Yes. So now the barnstorm of people are going to flood my timeline and be a distraction to me on one of the biggest days of our game. And I'm okay with that. I really am.
What's happening? Back at it again. We got to talk about this college basketball coach here, Dawn Staley of South Carolina Gamecocks, who's advocating for transgenders to play in women's basketball. It sounds crazy, right? But it's true. This is what she's saying. She got up right here in this little press conference, and this is what she said. Take a look at this.
One of the major issues facing women's sports right now is the discussion topic about the inclusion of transgender athletes, biological males, in women's sports. I was wondering if you would tell me your position on that issue.
Damn, you got deep on me, then. I'm under the opinion of if you're a woman, you should play. If you consider yourself a woman and you want to play sports or vice versa, you should be able to play.
Notice the way she words it. She sounds like she's scared to say the truth. She did say if you're a woman, biological woman, she didn't exactly say that, but if you put a wig on, you put a breast on, at least fake large breasts, and consider yourself a woman, you can play with women. Even though men have an advantage, but I guess she don't care. I guess she don't care. She's crazy.
That's my opinion. You want me to go deeper?
Do you think transgender women should be able to participate
That's your question
in
you
college
want
basketball?
me to ask. I mean, you want to ask, so I'll give you that. Yes. Yes. So now the barnstorm of people are going to flood my timeline and be a distraction to me on one of the biggest days of our game. And I'm okay with that. I really am.
How would she be okay with it? I don't understand these people. Like, they advocate for women, they're women themselves, but yet they want to turn around and bitch slap themselves in the face and say, yeah, we want these transgender women to play, even though they have an actual advantage, a biological advantage that's clear cut day. I mean, we saw Aaliyah Thomas. She absolutely destroyed the women's division in these swim meets, tied with Riley Gaines, and they give him the damn trophy. Hey, we only got one trophy. Who we gonna give it to? We're gonna give it to this transgender, this minority of the women's. These real women, right? No, they ain't women. They got the dick and balls. They ain't cutting off. Apparently, Leah Thomas was still sleeping with women. Isn't that crazy? This isn't the crazy, but it keeps going. All right, let's take a look at this. ESPN anchor stunt to find out South Carolina women's basketball scrimmages against men. The main reason we are as successful as we are. Now, this is from the same coach we just seen advocating for women. She just says right here in this article right here that they play with men. Why? Because men make them better. Iron sharpens iron, right? I mean, if you're gonna sharpen against men, obviously you're gonna have a competitive edge against other women. You put a man in the game, man, you about to have LeBron James tear these fools up. Take a look at this.
They leave tomorrow. And in the meantime, they've allowed us to come and infiltrate their court. Deb Antonelli, Elle Duncan standing here with Coach Staley. Coach, I'll be the ignorant one. I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Who are these dudes?
These dudes are the highlighters.
Okay.
They're the highlighters because they actually are the main reason why we are as successful as we are. They're students. They're male practice players. They come here, they're committed. We win championships, they get rings. Like, several of them have gotten a national championship ring from 2022.
Wow.
So anytime we win, they win because their dedication and sacrifice is just as much as our players.
Yeah, how do we get better? We play against men in scrimmages. Well, how do we level up from there? We take these men, we throw a wig on them, some fake breasts, and we put them in the playing game with us at college basketball level. Why? Because that's what they want. They want to get these state rings. They'll do it at any cost. Why? I think that's okay. I have no idea because they taken away from real women. You know what I'm saying? If you got a man helping you beat the competition, nothing fair about that. Ain't nothing fair about that. But don't worry, because there's some sense being coming around here. Here's this NAIA. They adopt a new policy for transgender athletes, basically saying, hey, if you're not born a woman, then you ain't gonna be able to play in our league. Take a look at this.
The role of the NAIA is protect fairness and competition.
And now the college athletics organization based right here in Kansas City has a new policy on transgender athletes. A day after a women's college basketball game got the highest rating in 5 years, the NAIA now says to compete in women's sports at that level, you have to have been born a woman. I'm Lauren Halifax.
And I'm John Holt. The new policy also says you cannot have started hormone therapy. Fox 4's Dave DeMarco live downtown where the decision was made today at the NAIA's National Convention in town. Dave.
And as you heard the organization's president tell me there, he says this is about fairness to all student athletes. The multiple groups have come out today and say this new policy isn't fair to transgender athletes.
83,000 student athletes at 241 member institutions compete in NAIA sports. But based on a unanimous decision by the Council of Presidents at the NAIA convention in Kansas City today, some of those athletes might be ineligible for women's sports starting this school year.
When we think about fairness and competition, I think it's pretty well accepted that there are male advantages in sport, strength, size, speed.
The NAIA isn't sure how many, but says transgender students have been taking part in competition. Under the new policy, anyone can compete in men's sports, but only students whose biological sex is female may participate in women's sports. And if the student has begun masculinizing hormone therapy, they can practice but can't play in external competitions. Near where that decision was made today, a youth volleyball tournament with high school students from around the nation was taking place. Most parents we spoke with seemed to agree with the decision, but didn't want to go on camera.
I mean, it's just not fair when you are taking scholarships away from collegiate athletes or high school athletes that could go on to play sports in college, and you're taking scholarships away and giving it to a male.
The nation's largest LGBTQ civil rights organization sent us a statement today saying today the NAIA decided to bar an entire category of people from competition simply because of a right-wing outrage campaign that purposefully misrepresents and distorts the realities of transgender athletes while doing nothing to support women's sports.
We certainly did not do this with any intention of making any statement about transgender students or transgender folks who want to participate in athletics. But we believe our job was to make sure that our competition was fair and that we're similar to what Title IX does. We're protecting our female category.
So still some details on exactly how this will be enforced, John. They say that they don't want to be discriminatory. They also don't want to be asking every single athlete to submit a birth certificate. So really this is just going to, like it always has, come down to the individual schools to determine their athletes' eligibility. Coming up at 10, we'll tell you what the NCAA had to say.
Yeah, so this isn't South Carolina, but still, I'm just showing this because the needle is ticking back to sanity, right? Back to common sense, because people, just because it's 2024, don't mean we can just willy-nilly do whatever now, especially when it comes to sports, to women's sports. You want to be a trans man competing against men. Good luck. Good luck, man. I tell you, you're going to have a hard time in the NFL because there's some big dudes. You're going to have a hard time in the UFC fighting Brock Lesnar. Good luck, man. You ain't going to stand a chance against these guys. They don't care if you're a woman, you want to be a dude. You want to fight him? Fight him. You want to play against them in football? Play against them. We don't care. But when it comes to women, because women, they don't have the competitive edge. I mean, you see with these this coach over here playing against men this scrimmage. She's doing that for a reason, because men are better. They got the competitive advantage. They will always have the competitive advantage, these men. You know what I'm saying? Y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments, guys. Like, comment, subscribe to the best of you. See you on the next one.